Audubon 2456.
State of the Save is back. It's another Tired Cast today. At least it's a Tired Cast on my end. We are back with part 2 of Resident Evil 4. Another wonderful episode. Fun things going on as always. I am Eric, as always. First voice in your ear, last voice in your ear, probably last voice you hear on this here podcast. Michael's with me.
Way to set the tone.
We're just setting things up for.
Is that a challenge?
Yeah, last one standing on the podcast.
Just like the game we're playing, we're gonna change tones every 5 or so minutes.
Yes, so. I start off tired cast, and about 15 minutes in, it becomes angry cast, and about 20 minutes in, it becomes sexy cast. We'll just keep on moving, changing things.
And then it becomes giant.
Giant cast could be either one of those.
Let me pull up a different set of notes I got.
Okay, you got 6. I like the concept of those notes for Resident Evil 4 on your phone, and then those sexy notes for Resident Evil 4 on your phone.
I just wrote ballistics over and over and over again. That's how people talk, right?
Yeah.
Leon's bangs? That's all I wrote.
Michael has already been introduced. John, how you doing, John?
Yes, I'm good. How are you all?
We're doing good. It's going to be a fun show. The best shows start off with bad intros.
That's just the entire podcast. Our podcast is golden.
Yes, pretty much if I start off with a bad intro, I know we're going to have a good show. When I have a nice, clean, professional intro, shit's going downhill right from the get-go. No, but like we were saying, part 2 of our conversation on Resident Evil 4. The greatest video game of all time. Anyone who disagrees can fight me. But let's get some business up front. TikTok, State of the Save, is also on Instagram and Twitter. Make sure you follow us there. Michael has started adding clips to YouTube at State of the Save. That's an ongoing process, but it's up, so you can go ahead and follow us there.
I fell behind on that. Long story short, I don't want to get into it, but some guys fixing my apartment ripped some fiber wire out, so I had no internet for a few days.
Oh.
So fun stuff. So I fell behind on that, so I'm going to get that up and running very shortly.
When you say that, it makes it sound like it was an accident, but then I've seen the photos. It was a massacre of your internet lines.
Those cable boxes were demolished.
In professional wrestling, when you want to build heat, you beat up a guy backstage and you cut to it and you're like, oh, what happened to Seth Rollins?
He's broken in half.
All the photos of Michael's internet boxes were like that, where we just cut to the behind Michael's house and it's just internet boxes all throughout the yard. Like somebody took a hatchet to him.
It was bad.
I also lost my internet the same day you lost your internet by sabotage.
That's why I thought it was an outage. I was like, oh, I'll just call him since Eric lost his internet too. Clearly, we can't both have broken boxes.
Someone took a hatchet to your internet, and then someone ripped down my internet by hitting it with a truck. So, it's just been... John, did you lose your internet?
My power went out for like 10 seconds one day.
10 seconds. Okay. You know what, John?
But other than that, it was fine.
We've turned the conversation's already turned hostile.
I have a lot of angry faces looking at me now.
The knives are out.
I think mine was down for a week, but 3 days. Yours was down for longer than that.
That really
Something
sucks.
like that. It felt like it was longer than that. Because I got stuff to do.
Yeah, I had stuff to do also.
Yeah, no, I wouldn't have been able to get work done. I work from home.
I made the argument that to the people online, I was like, hey, we have businesses and stuff we got to run.
Yeah.
And they're basically like, oh, that's a shame.
Anyway.
See you on Monday, brother.
They're like, because you can't blame them because they're like, hey, everybody has to do work from home. Everybody's needs internet.
Yeah.
It's not like, oh, we'll put you up at the priority list because you obviously need this more than everyone else.
Michael, as a professional podcaster, I need the internet.
Yes.
God damn, don't they know who I am, Michael? See, I told y'all we'll get the angry cast, see? Only 5 more minutes, still sexy cast. Other than losing internet, let's go around, let's talk about things. Michael.
Yes.
What have you been up to, Michael?
So,
in the ward.
Yeah, so video game-wise, I've been playing a little bit more of Earthbound. It's starting to get to where, like, the combat's opening up. I got a second squad member now. Some of the gameplay situations are opening up to become slightly more ridiculous. I went to a village called like Happy Village where everyone was painting things blue and was like happy cult. So I'm like, that's pretty cool.
Everything is fine, everybody.
Basically.
Don't worry. It's not kind of telling for the times.
And if you don't agree with them, they'll attack you. So,
well, also kind of telling with the times.
A lot of people want this 10-year-old Ness dead.
What kind of ward does this occupy? Which is 10-year-old. As someone who just finished a book today about a 14-year-old where people are trying to kill a 14-year-old.
Oh my god.
Yeah.
Earthbound.
Yeah, it feels very fitting. You're reading that book also, so you know.
Yeah.
Is that book Bullet Train? It's a movie coming out about it.
Yeah, I've heard about that.
I hope the movie is better than the book. I was extremely disappointed.
I am a lot less far in you.
I finished it. Yeah.
Oh, you finished it? Because like we talked yesterday, you're like, I have 100 pages left. I don't know if I finished it.
I knocked it out last night.
Is it worth reading the whole thing?
No.
But I'm at okay.
Here's the thing. I read 2 pages of something. I have to finish it. The movie looks better. It looks interesting. Brad Pitt, looks like a high quality cast and all that.
Oh, yeah.
The book, was it was highly praised. All the NPR's best crime book of the year, yada 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 yada. And from about three chapters in, I realized I was having a hard time getting into it, and it never turned itself around. It improves around page like 300.
Okay.
But not enough that I would say suffer till 300. If you are not having a hard time with it right now, I think you will be fine, because at 300 it gets a little bit better. I was never really invested. I had a hard time carrying, and when I got to 300, I just got to the point that it didn't become miserable to read for me. The first 200 pages, I was like, I don't care about this at all. This is just, but whatever.
Yeah. So Earthbound.
Bookcast.
Yeah, but I don't have a lot more to say on Earthbound because there's not like a lot of changes and everything happening based on where I'm at. I'm still gonna work my way through that. One game that I played in its entirety during these 2 weeks, though, I got into PlayStation's Game Pass equivalent because it was like, hey, you can get the highest tier for $30 until the end of January. Upgrade your current subscription. I'm like, that's a fair deal. There's some games on here I want to check out. There's some classics. So I booted up a few things. It's very, not to get too deep in the weeds about what their service is, but I want to say right up front, if you have a PlayStation 5, the extra tier there's Essential, which is basic PlayStation Plus. The extra tier, which gives you the catalog of PS4 games, is a pretty great deal. Right away you get, and PS5 games too. On that service tier right now, there's Ghost of Tsushima, the remake of Demon's Souls, Spider-Man Miles Morales.
Ooh.
There's a lot of really good quality content. I think Horizon Zero Dawn is on there, God of War. So if you get that tier and you if you just gotten a PS5 or if I'm going back and getting the PS4 for cheap, that's the tier I would suggest. The premium tier, which is what I got, seems like it's a little bit lacking right now. The classics catalog is updating very, very slowly, and you can just buy all those games, most of those games individually. For some reason, Tekken 2, you can't buy individually. You have to stay on that service. And I'm like, the guy's like, where's Tekken 3?
That's the seller. They're like, if they can buy Tekken 2, why would they buy the service?
The hot commodity of 2022, Tekken 2.
Tekken 2.
On a console you can play Tekken 7 on.
Yes. Yes.
But not Tekken 3. What are we doing? 3's the best.
No, because in 3's in case of emergency, break glass. Then you put Tekken 3 on the service, and that saves PlayStation. You got to think about have you never been to the office meetings where they're like, what's the worst case scenario here? Worst case scenario, we break the glass and we put Tekken 3 on there. Saves PlayStation. This is a long day, guys.
Yeah. but one game that I checked out because I haven't had a chance to play yet was from a series I love, Uncharted. Uncharted Lost Legacy was the one Uncharted game besides the one on Vita, Golden Abyss, that I haven't played. I played a little bit of Golden Abyss. It's fine. But
it's a
Legacy,
Vita game.
Yeah.
It can only be.
Hey now.
Don't hate now, me. Don't be that guy.
Gravity Rush is awesome. Anyway.
Oh, yes, Gravity Rush. My top 100 video games of all time, Gravity Rush.
That's probably up there for me. Anyway.
You and 5 other people.
Me and those 5 people have a Discord and have a
You
good
You
time.
have a good time at the Chili's after the PlayStation 5 convention.
All right, so Uncharted Lost Legacy is on PC. It's coming to PC along with Uncharted 4. This was a great experience. It's a shorter game than the other Uncharted. It's about 7 hours, which is what I was really hoping for. And Lost Legacy was going to be a DLC campaign for Uncharted 4. But they really fleshed it out more than they were expecting. I believe they were expecting like a 3 or 4 hour campaign, and it kind of ballooned into a full Uncharted experience. This is a fantastic game. Ooh. A fantastic like slice of Uncharted that I think if you've never played Uncharted before, I think this is actually a good one to start with. I would say this or like 3. Because if you play 3, then I think you'll get enough of like the kind of flow of what an Uncharted game is before going into 4, where it really breaks down Nathan Drake as a character and like provides the end of his journey, which I think hits better if you played another game with Nathan Drake in it, because it like the ending and like who Nathan Drake is as a character, all the changes of who we thought he was as a character, and like the end of his story, because it is called A Thief's End, and how that wraps up and everything ties together.
You should jump into the deconstruction of a character without at least knowing what the type of character you're dealing with, right? It's like why you shouldn't read Watchmen before you read like some other superhero style material, because the deconstruction of Watchmen hits harder when you understand the tropes of superheroes.
Otherwise, you're a 13-year-old who's like, these guys are cool, and complete missed the point.
You can't.
I'm raising my hand right now. I am one of those people who's
Michael
like...
was like, man, this Rorschach guy's got some,
yes.
he's got some points.
Then you grow up and realize, oh boy, this guy's kind of a fascist.
You can kind of tell like the political spectrum of the country depending on who believes Rorschach is the good guy in that freaking book. Like I can usually kind of tell if me and you are going to be friends if we're like, hey, what's up with Rorschach? And you're like, yeah, that guy's crazy. He's a psychopath. I'm like, okay, we can be friends. But then you run into the guys and be like, yeah, man, that guy's got some points. And like, oh, okay, we ain't going to hang out with you. No, but that is kind of the key, right? You can't go into you can't break down a character without having a good grasp on the character.
Exactly. So Lost Legacy, I think, would be a good jumping on point. But as someone who played 4 last year, getting into like we talked about during our Tomb Raider discussion, it was like, man, I kind of want something that has a big emphasis on like puzzles and puzzle design with some really fun combat in there. And then I played Lost Legacy. Oh wait, that's this game. It scales back some of the combat stuff from Uncharted 4 and focuses a lot more than like even other games. The like the exploration aspect. For example, like when Chapter 4 hits, the longest chapter in the game, it opens up to like this vast open area that kind of reminds me of like a fully realized version of the open areas in Tomb Raider Underworld. Where it's like, okay, we climb a tower and we see 3 points of interest on the map that we need to get to. That will, if we do all the puzzles there and all the combat scenarios, we make the water flow to unlock this big gate, and then we can go to the next section. And in between all of those sections, there is tiny little like mini puzzles you can do, like the shrines in Breath of the Wild, but much more on the open world surface. Mm-hmm. And if you do all of those and get all the coins from that, you get an item that will detect or like beep or like shimmer when you are close to like the hidden treasure in the game. So it incentivizes you to like go and do all of like the mini side content, while also like figuring out how to navigate this large open space to progress the game. And it's really well done. And coming off of Underworld, I was like, this is kind of what I wanted. If I told somebody like 15 years ago, Hannah, because Lost Legacy focuses on Chloe as a character who's a side character in the Uncharted games. She's a sassy British lady. If I handed someone a controller 15 years ago and held them to play Lost Legacy, I could pass this off as like, hey, this is what Tomb Raider's going to be.
No, I mean, I also would say a 7-hour experience is kind of what I want from those kind of games.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Those games are popcorn games to me. And 7 hours is about what I want from those kind of, like, it's fast paced, get the combat, get the puzzles, get in, get out, have a good time. of the Uncharted series, I think I've only played 2 of them, and I believe they were the first 2. I don't know if I played 3, but there was always seemed like there was a point in which I kind of was done with the game before the game was done, and we had that kind of similar experience when we did the show and we did Tomb Raider Underworld, where it's just like I kind of want a breezy experience in those kind of games. I want to have an eventual 7, 8, 9 hours max, and let's get out. I don't need a 20-hour experience in those kind of games.
Uncharted 4 was the longest one, but it also had a lot more emphasis on like deep storytelling and character development that was absent from the series. I think that one was about 15 hours.
But that's also the
much
deconstruction game,
Yeah.
right? So you kind of can do more there because you've set up a history of being a big popcorn game, and then you have the, let's actually break down these characters and get more in depth here instead of just here's Nathan Drake looking for some magical artifact in crazy places.
Because that's what the trilogy is. I would equate the Uncharted series to like the Mission Impossible movie franchise, where they're all popcorn movies. Some of them have like deeper layers than others, but ultimately, if you pop one in, you're gonna have a great time. And they're all of about, with the exception of Mission Impossible 2, they're all of like the similar quality. Some raise the bar more than others, but at least baseline, you're gonna have a great time.
You can also watch them. You can play, like, I would agree with that, because like the Mission Impossible movies, you can kind of play them whichever one interests you. You don't have to start at the beginning. Like, you can just kind of pop in the newest Uncharted and be like, oh, I'm having a good time, kind of like how you like. That's a good analog there, because like that movie franchise, it doesn't really matter if you've played them all. You can just jump in and jump out.
And they're all basically the same plot. They all hit familiar beats. I called several beats because Lost Legacy is like a more condensed version of that. So it hits every single beat from the previous Uncharted. But I didn't care. They do bits where you feel like you fell down a huge well, and all of a sudden, and you're like crawling up, and then all of a sudden the villain's waiting on you with the gun as he's like, "You're gonna solve this puzzle to open the gate, so that way I'm here too as we open the final treasure vault," stuff like that.
Which is also kind of a Tomb Raider thing too. Like, many times
it's a trope of the adventure genre in general. Like you want
Last Crusade.
Last Crusade is that.
It's the Last Crusade thing of like, and now we all got to the last tomb, Indy, and now you're gonna show me how to get through, and it's that trope. Everybody got it from Last Crusade.
But yeah, I absolutely.
And it's still a good trope. I'm not saying it's a bad thing.
Yeah, but I absolutely loved my time with Lost Legacy. Played the entire thing in about a week and a half and had a fantastic time. Chloe is a great character, and she's paired nicely with Nadine, who is a good foil for her because she is one of the main villains in Uncharted 4. And she is the head of this private military organization. So she's very matter-of-fact, like, angry, the muscle of the group, and Chloe's like the wisecracking adventure type. So they pair those tropes really well.
Is it a buddy game? Like a buddy cop movie?
Yeah, kind of.
Okay. That sounds interesting. It seems like something I would like. I would like the idea of it being a kind of condensed... Let's have an eventual kind of game and get in, get out. That really.
I think you would absolutely love this. And if you never played Uncharted, this is the one I would recommend before going back, because it doesn't spoil anything really that happens in 3 or 4, because like they don't even allude to like what happens at the end of that game. Because being called a thief's end, you could kind of interpret that many different ways, and they kind of just like, oh, Nathan's on the game anymore, and just leave it at that without.
You could probably jump in.
There's several ways you can interpret that.
Two questions before we move on. Favorite Mission Impossible movie? Go.
Mission Impossible 5, Rogue Nation.
John, you got an opinion?
I'm so embarrassed. I've not seen any of the Mission Impossible movies.
John, you're moving really towards angry cast.
I am causing a lot of problems.
Hostile cast pretty quick. No, Mission Impossible 4.
That Ghost Protocol is really good too.
Yeah, I like that one a lot.
After 3, you can kind of say any of them and be like, yeah, I would agree with you.
3's the Anthony Hopkins one, right? Or is that 4? No, that's 4. That is 4.
Anthony Hopkins was in 1.
No, it's the one where
That's John Voight in 1. No, Anthony Hopkins was 2. Because 2 is the one that goes off the wall.
Not Anthony Hopkins. It's the one where they do the heist and they steal him from the big... it's the one I like. It's 4. Where they kidnap him from the like big charity event because he like catches him in the bathroom and.
No, that's 3.
Is that 3? Okay,
Yeah,
3. I like 3 then.
Because 3 has Philip Seymour Hoffman.
Philip Seymour
as the
Hoffman.
main
That's
villain.
what I was
And that's the
talking
one
about.
that starts out strong, where he's like, the first line is, "We plant an explosive charge in your head."
Yeah.
And
3.
then
That's
cut,
what I like.
and then it goes back and cut. 3 is awesome.
Yeah,
I mean,
he interrogates him outside of a plane, like he's about to drop him out of a plane. Does a fight
and
on
then
a
like
bridge.
cuts like each individual rope, so he goes like starts dangling over the plane.
There's a fight on a bridge where they're like dealing with drones striking. They were trying to protect him. There's a bunch of people trying to bust him out. 3 is a good movie. Yeah, that's a good. Ends in Thailand. I think.
5's probably my favorite because it's the most like espionage heavy. Fallout's good because he has to fist fight Henry Cavill on a cliff, which is all right with me.
Yeah, that's pretty good. Henry Cavill like pops the air off of his suit and then jumps out of a plane. And it's not even like a hostile like bad thing. It's just like a dick move. He's not even like trying to kill him. He's just trying to fuck with him. Yeah, Mission Impossible, great franchise. It's one of those don't think too much about it kind of movies.
7's coming out and it's called Dead Reckoning Part 1. So I'm like, oh my god, finally we're going to end on a cliffhanger. I cannot wait to see what this insane franchise is going to do with a cliffhanger. Like, he's going to be falling out of a plane and be like 2 inches from the ground and it's going to cut to black and be like, how's he get out of this?
And then the whole like first 30 minutes
Through
of
death.
Yeah. The whole first 30 minutes of the next movie is just playing back the last 30 minutes of the first movie, but from a different perspective, so you can see how he gets out of it. The whole franchise also tries to convince you that Tom Cruise is 6 feet tall. Ain't nobody buying it. Second question.
Yes.
How much is the games running on the retro games on the PlayStation offering? Like, if you buy them individually?
Anywhere from $6 to $10.
That's good prices.
Because
I was sitting there thinking about that. That's the right way to do it.
Yeah.
Because I really I canceled my my Switch online for those.
It got expensive.
It got way too expensive, and I would much rather just be able, like, especially if I wanted the Nintendo 64 stuff, I just want to be able to download and buy. I'll buy the ones I care about.
Yeah.
I don't need a whole listing.
They don't give you that option.
Yeah, I know.
Yeah,
and
yeah.
that's the Wii and even the Wii U had that option.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And it's a shame that the Switch doesn't.
Give me, for $6, I'll buy Majora's Mask.
Yeah.
I don't want to pay a monthly fee to have access to Majora's Mask.
Mm-hmm.
That's something that...
Now I got to pull my Wii out of the box and plug it back in and play Majora's Mask.
No, but yeah, that is ridiculous. But that's a good price. $6-10, that's good enough. Because a lot of times those games are not things I even want to necessarily finish, per se. I just want to mess around with them.
I need that hit of Ape Escape.
Yeah.
Let me play 10 hours of Ape Escape and have a great time and be happy.
And then $6 to $10, that's what it should be.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, but that's a win for Sony.
Agreed.
Good for them. That's the way it should be. But have the first service for people who want to have everything.
I'm going to shout.
But then if I want just 1 or 2 games, let me jump in, pay $10, get the game.
I want to shout this from the rooftops. Release your classics catalog, everybody.
Everybody.
Release old games. Because
But
that's
make
what I
them-
like playing.
Make them so you can,
You
play
lose
everything.
nothing from releasing more of your old content.
Yeah. No, you lose nothing. Yeah, exactly. You lose nothing. John, what you been doing?
Oh yeah, I've been playing mostly this game, but other than that, I've been playing a little bit of Fire Emblem Three Houses, which that's a fantastic. So before I played Fire Emblem Three Houses, I only knew about the Fire Emblem characters from Smash Bros.
That's basically how everybody
exactly
meet them.
That's how most people met them, and
they were on Melee before that franchise even came to the States, and I was like, who's these dorks?
No, exactly.
What a hostile way to be like. Michael just sitting there and be like, these dorks in
These
here.
dorks with their swords and their awesome armor.
Every time Michael flips through the character selection, he's just like, Pikachu, Mario, dork, Luigi.
But it's. I had all these I guess that's it. I didn't have any preconceived notions about Fire Emblem because I never tried it. I really recommend trying Fire Emblem Three Houses.
Yeah, it's a good game.
A good game. It is a good game. Don't think of it as it's a Fire Emblem game. It's just a good game with a really intriguing narrative that could happen in one of 3 ways.
Mm-hmm.
Because it's more than that technically. But the awesome thing about the game, for anyone who doesn't know, is that you kind of get to choose one of 3 major paths based on the house you choose. it's not a spoiler. It happens in the first 10 minutes of the game.
It's really what the title is.
Exactly. Your character becomes a professor, and you get to choose which of the houses of the monastery you get to lead throughout the game. And I've played 2 of them all the way through, and they were both very different stories, all amazing. It changes the perspective from one story's point of view. It could look like one situation is like very bad, and from another playthrough situation, it could look like, oh, well, this is a wonderful thing that's happening to this house. It's just amazing how the different perspectives change how you view certain characters as villains or as enemies or as rivals. It's just a very well put together game. I'm playing through the 3rd route now with the Golden Deer House.
Golden Deer!
Which was who Michael
Those are my boys!
And they're great. They are great students. They're awesome. They're very fun. And I'm looking forward to seeing how they fill it. Because what I've told is that they kind of fill in the missing puzzle pieces.
I haven't played another run because I know I would miss my Golden Deer house so much. My lovable losers. Because they're like the ragtag bunch of the group. Because all the other houses are like lords and like very powerful people in the kingdom.
Yes.
These guys are just sons and daughters of nobles.
Yeah, the Alliance.
So yeah, they're like a alliance.
The
They're like
smallest.
they're the most like democratic of like the systems, while the others are built on like empires and like lordships and castles and royal bloodlines, and they're just like, man, these guys are just sons of nobles.
And they're
like
all
the son of a
goofy.
congressman or something.
Mike's like, I ain't dealing with these damn queens and kings.
Exactly, and they're like,
we have democracy over here in the golden
Deer House.
Golden Deer.
Because they're like the underdogs of like the school and everything.
They
too.
really
like,
kind of are.
Like
Even...
people like your house kind of like look down on them because they don't have like noble bloodline and stuff on them. So I naturally was attracted to that house, and yeah, so not to steal the conversation.
No, but it's amazing. The house leaders are great. You meet them early on, and they are kind of what set the stage for the tone of the whole house. Because this is the head of this house is a character named Claude, and he's just a mischievous, crazy goofball.
He's like, we're gonna play some pranks.
He's so smart, and he's such a very interesting character. Once you join the house and get to learn more about him and all of his fellow students. And same with all the other house leaders. You've got Edelgard. She's a very well-spoken princess. And then you've got Dimitri, a very noble leader of the empire of that world. And it's just amazing how many combinations of story you get depending on every major decision you make at the beginning of the game with, like, the house you choose.
It feels like one of those games that if you had, like, one game you could buy for the summer.
Yes.
Like,
You could
that's
play
your
that
game.
whole
That's
summer.
your game that's going to get you through. Like, you know, when I was a younger man, like that was a big thing to take into consideration when it was time to get a game. You can't get the game that only lasts 6 hours. I got one game this summer. I need to get something that's gonna, you know, make it through the year. So that's a lot of game for your money.
So much content.
I'm satisfied with only one playthrough, but because that was about 50 hours in itself. But
yes,
it
was so long.
I could go back and like do longer, and I believe the New Game Plus makes some of those battles easier and gets you through the story content.
It does.
So you can see like the comparisons and like the changes.
It's very small.
And be able to recruit people to your side easier.
I've recruited most of the Blue Lions because those were my boys.
Save them because
I do like that it's like, hey, we know that this is your second playthrough. Let's get you to the new stuff.
Exactly.
That's all. That's the way New Game Plus should be like that. Let's get you through all this stuff you've already done. Let's get you to the new gear. Correct me if I'm wrong, Michael. You're more familiar with this. Nier was like that, correct? With its multiple endings, where
more different.
Once
than
you
that,
got
yeah.
through, but once you got through a certain number of playthroughs, didn't it start kind of jumping faster?
No, they were basically the multiple playthroughs in that are basically just chapters in a story.
Okay. All right, but still, you don't make you play that. Okay, that makes sense. Never mind. Ignore my thing.
No,
No, but that is good though. That is good. That seems like that and Monster Hunter World are both games that have like opened those franchises up to more mainstream audiences.
I would agree.
I've heard more people talk about trying Fire Emblem with that game.
Yes.
Same thing I did when Monster Hunter World came out. Was like people who had never touch these franchises all of a sudden being able to get into them.
Yeah.
Which is cool to have a long-running franchise still have a place to be able to onboard people.
Yeah.
That's always neat.
The Switch has had a lot of games like that, like Breath of the Wild for Zelda.
I know
was
people
like,
who never played Zelda who's like, I
before-
love this game.
Exactly.
And I don't know if they would like the others based on that. So it's hard for me to recommend. Just like, well, Ocarina of Time. I'm like, well, that's not really what you want from...
Yeah.
Yeah, that is true.
It's one of the greatest games of all time, but I don't know if you'd like it if you just like Zelda based off of Breath of the Wild.
But it might be a chance to give someone. They might be more likely to give it a shot.
Exactly.
Exactly.
Because they have that baseline knowledge.
Because they know who Link is and they have a basic understanding of what Zelda is.
There's a hero. There's
They're
a
more
princess.
it's more likely to give it a shot. Where it's like, looking at it from an outsider's perspective, especially if you're getting people who's never played it today. It's like, I gotta go back to a game that long ago. It gives them more of an onboarding opportunity.
Yeah.
No, but it's good though. I always like long franchises that are able to like have a big moment to bring a bunch of new people into the franchise, because that's always the fear, right? That if you only cater to your one audience, that audience gets smaller and smaller and smaller and smaller.
Exactly.
So you have these kind of refreshes that get all these new people in, and then theoretically they go back and they play the other stuff.
While also not alienating the people who love it. You don't want like a Dead or Alive 6 situation where you try to appeal to everyone and then the niche people
And
feel
no
like
one cares.
left behind.
Yeah.
Exactly.
No, you're right. And I don't think that's the case here. And same thing with Monster Hunter
Oh, no,
World.
for sure.
It seems like both of those games kept the mainstream fans, brought mainstream fans in, but then kept the loyal audience there too.
I do have one question before we move on.
Yeah.
Are you intending to play Fire Emblem Warriors 3 Hopes at all?
I do plan to play that eventually. I downloaded the demo.
Gotcha.
And I started the first 30 minutes of it, but I hadn't been able to play much beyond that.
That's like a sequel, right? Or is it like in between cool thing? Or
So technically, it takes place in between the time skip, which that's not a spoiler. It is a time skip.
Yeah.
But it takes place during that time skip. But this is like an alternate timeline. It essentially. The character you're playing as is not in he's not in Three Houses.
I know it's like a from my understanding, it's like a Parasite or Prototype 2 situation where he's like, I'm gonna hunt down and kill the main character.
Yes,
So
kind of that.
Yeah.
Based on the what I played of it, basically that. It's weird. It's like
It sounds kind of fun.
Did you just reference Prototype?
I did reference Prototype 2.
But this is not.
Did you have down your bingo card for this week?
No, because nobody would put Prototype 2 on the bingo card. Because no one remembers Prototype.
Apparently, I'm the one. I never even played that game. For some reason, it's just in my mind.
That game is of a time, like the fact that you have your alien monster that you're like infected with, and it takes a form of a hoodie. I've played Prototype.
Next game for the show.
I own Prototype, and I found that out last week.
Next game for the show.
No, we're not playing Prototype. But I dropped a bunch of Flesh and Blood cards on my. I was doing some deck organizing, and I dropped a bunch of cards. And I looked down, and I had to pick some up off my PlayStation 3 shelf, and I was like, I own Prototype, apparently. The fact that it's popped up twice in conversation or in my mind in the past week is kind of terrifying.
Everything's connected.
Yeah. No, that is good, though. I'm glad that, like, Michael talked a lot about that game, too. It's very, very praised.
Oh, yeah.
For sure. I think definitely people should try it out.
And it's a long game, but it's good to just play a little bit and stop. Jump back in whenever you feel like it. It's easy to stop.
The advantage also of Switches is a great before bed kind of
yes.
system, so you can fiddle around with it, play 30 minutes before you go to sleep. It's a good nighttime. And that game kind of strikes me as a game that would be good to be like a come down game.
I feel like we all have games on that system that we're willing to boot up any time before bed. Like mine's Animal Crossing. 30 minutes before bed, I'd go around, walk around my village, and check on things.
Yeah. Breath of the Wild, Legends Arceus. And this one, Fire Emblem Three Houses, are those for me.
I just play Project Warlock and stuff like that.
I mean, that's perfectly valid too.
We live different lives.
For some reason, you're like, yeah, I need a very calming experience. Let's load up this boomer shooter.
Let's just shoot things. We live different lives, Michael. We live different lives. Yeah, I did that weird thing where I started a bunch of random things and nothing stuck with me over the past 2 weeks. I fiddled around with Ninja Gaiden 2. I fiddled around with Ninja Gaiden 3, both of those remakes.
Yeah.
And nothing stuck with me. I continue my little playthrough of Metal Gear Solid 3 again. That was fun. But, like, it just... I get in these little moods sometimes where I'm, like, looking for what's going to grab me, and I start, like, 6 or 7 games, and nothing grabs me. And, it was disappointing. But that doesn't matter because Resident Evil 4 is always here for you.
Exactly.
When you see that as a high-quality sub... Yeah, that
high-quality Subway?
I was about to say Subway, but Segway. That's a high-quality Segway.
I didn't even know you segued.
You didn't even know. That's Ninja Segway right there.
Stay the save. It's brought to you.
Sandwiches.
We would not be brought to you by Subway.
Please no.
We're at least a Jersey Mike's like style podcast.
I will promote Jersey Mike's for free.
But
I would not promote Jersey.
You ate a sandwich beforehand, so technically we brought a sandwich to the podcast recording session. I'm sorry.
I don't know where we went there. This is why I do the segues.
Like Resident Evil 4, we went off the rails.
This is why I do the segues. Resident Evil 4. This is a longer section. We were talking about this, so I think that's also one of the things that I really enjoyed kind of slowly progressing through this. We talked about it last time. I love this video game. I've played it God knows how many times. And it's one of those things that I sometimes when I've been playing through it for the show, it's hard to take time to really appreciate how weird this fucking game is.
Yes.
And we was just one thing we talked about before the show started, and everyone loves when we reference things that aren't on the show. But this game cannot be the remake can't do this. There is too many one-time assets, one-time mechanics that are just never touched again in this game, and that's not how modern games are done.
No.
You know, we talk a lot about things like the rule of 3. We talk a lot about just reusing mechanics because this is expensive stuff to make. We can't just throw away 6 months worth of work on a 5-minute sequence. Mm-hmm. Except Resident Evil 4, which does that all the time.
Yep.
All the time. And Michael had an idea of how he thinks they're going to go about remaking this video game. And Michael, as we go through this section, I want you to kind of bring up that point.
Elaborate
I think you're correct. But at the same time, my argument is that it no longer becomes Resident Evil 4. Because what makes this game so great is that it's just constantly doing these one-off little weird sequences and then never touching it again.
But I would also argue from a remake perspective, would you just want like the same game again? Or do you want, because this game, 1, 2, and 3, the reason I think they were remade so differently is because those games are kind of harder to go back to. Resident Evil 4 is still freaking great to play from beginning to end.
It's like, it's the Brilliant Diamond and Shining Pearl problem. Those are the Pokemon remakes that came out recently. Mm-hmm. Some people loved them because they were faithful remakes of the original Diamond and Pearl. But some people hated them because they were just basically one-to-one remakes with nothing new. Where previous remakes from Pokemon games had their own twists on the past games. And so it's a really, I don't know what you would call, like, I guess reimagining versus faithful remake.
Exactly.
I agree with Michael and I agree with you that you need to do something that's more of a reimagining. Mm-hmm. Because this game is so extremely playable still.
Because you can always go back to the old one.
And it's not something that's a hard sell. The game still looks great in my mind. I still think the game looks great. There's some weird stuff. You talked about how like the frame rate is different in the reload animations, but nothing that breaks it for a player. Like I think you could put Resident Evil 4 in front of most people, and it's going to be playable for them. They're going to enjoy it. But at the same time, this game is so weird that it's hard for me to picture what Resident Evil 4 is other than this. And some of that is I'm just so close to the source material. But as we go through it, I kind of want to keep that in mind because obviously we'll get the remake next year. I'm going to be referring to... I always talk about Resident Evil 4 being broken up into 3 kind of sections. This is the castle section. Mm-hmm. This entire thing takes place really in this castle. And Michael, I always talk about like this is my least favorite part of the game. Now, that's all relative to the fact I love this game. But you were talking about that most people you've talked to feel like this is their favorite part.
This is my favorite part of the game.
And it's weird, it's great,
Yeah.
but I always thought that's interesting because I like this part a lot, but it's never, I've always thought the village and then the part after this is a little bit more compelling, but
Yeah,
it's damn good either way.
It depends on what you like and want from these type of games. For someone with like a ADHD like brain, having a game with my exact same mindset, going, "Ooh, look at this thing! Ooh, look at this thing! Isn't that weird? Oh, okay, we're on to the next thing. New gameplay mechanics, a boss fight thrown at you every chance there's an open room, stuff like that. It just gets my like brain going, and I always have a good time playing this section. I always look forward to getting into the castle section because it's always fun.
Yeah.
Even when it's in like, and even when it's like changing tones. Like there's one section we'll definitely talk about coming up that changes the tone completely and goes full horror, as opposed to anything else remaining in this game. And it's like, where did this come from? Because the moment that leads up to that is a joke. A literal joke.
Yeah.
There is sections here that are almost like a cartoon.
Yeah.
And then the game does horror stuff, and then it does the classic Resident Evil body horror stuff. Let's go ahead and get into it. So we found ourselves in this castle after we escaped the village. Ashley and Leon are instantly greeted with our buddy the merchant, who gives us, this is what I kind of talked about last time, there was like a refresh on all your weapons.
I forgot it happened so soon. Like when you get to the castle, it's like, oh, you're in the castle. Here's the upgrade weapons.
New rifle, new pistol, new shotgun. Classically, the way I usually play this, I always keep the R9, but I actually went with the blacktail this time. I think the blacktail is better when you fully upgrade it than the 9 is, but it just more, for me, it was a new challenge. I got so accustomed to how that one pistol feels that this kind of gave me a little bit of a different experience. Riot gun is dramatically better than the main shotgun, and then you really need that semi-automatic rifle for what's coming up.
Yeah,
I got that thing as soon as I saw it.
Yeah, I talked about a lot how in the village I used the bolt action constantly, and Mike was like, I don't even buy the thing. I don't think you even bought it.
I didn't buy it.
Yeah, but here, there's no choice. You need that semi-automatic rifle.
If you don't have
for
it,
real, for real. I don't know how.
You can't do it without it.
You cannot.
There's multiple sections in this that it is a requirement.
If you didn't buy it when you walk up the first section, I guarantee you'd be like, nope, and then double back.
The sad thing is that would have determined whether or not I had fun playing this section.
Yeah.
Whether or not I bought that rifle.
Basically.
Because literally the game teaches you that because you come out into an area where you're dealing with catapults.
Naturally.
This is full-on medieval castle. You know, we got catapults, we got guys with crossbows.
Flaming catapults, mind you.
Yeah,
that will one-hit kill Ashley on impact.
Yep.
I learned that pretty quick.
Yeah, we had 4 deaths for Ashley in this section.
Basically, and then I remembered that, oh wait, I need to strategically leave her in places. So leave her under the bridge and basically be like, I'm coming back for you later. Don't worry, I'm going to deal with all this stuff up here.
The game will not let you leave her for long, though, because it will always spawn an enemy to grapple.
That was the section where I learned that.
Yeah. Though this section, you can, if you kind of run at the right times, you let the first barrage comes in and you kind of run through, there is a path you can do without having to get her to hold anywhere. But, this is trying to teach you hold no, but it also does teach you can't leave her at the start of the level and come back for later, you know. You kind of have to keep her coming to you. It is a little bit annoying to have her get hit by the catapult, you know, because there's very little you can do with her positioning. But this is this is sniping. This whole section is teaching you need the rifle because that's the only good way to deal with the catapults. It's also teaching you that there's going to be lots and lots of long corridors and things like that to shoot down. Also, the castle for me always is where the only time I ever run into ammunition problems in this game is later in the castle.
It's weird because I went from, at one point, literally I counted, I had 125 handgun ammo. Then after like one section, I had nothing. I was like, what happened?
There was a lot of sections in this castle in which you're just going to burn through ammo. It throws the enemies with the shields.
And if you don't have ammo during the sections, some of them become a problem. The minecart having no ammo on was a nightmare almost.
This is the only time I bring the submachine gun
Oh.
with me. Because the submachine gun becomes really good at that kind of stuff, like the minecart, because you only got to hit them once and they'll fall.
Mm-hmm.
And so if you kind of use the submachine gun as my waste gun and save all your other stuff, it'll help you out. But this part, I always run into ammunition problems. I never ran completely out in this section, but there was multiple times when I would have like 4 rounds in my pistol, a shot in my rifle, and like 20 rounds of submachine gun ammo. And so there was a lot of that kind of stuff where you're emptying the last of this and emptying the last of this and hoping somebody drops something.
And also, we didn't talk about this the first time, but this game has a hidden difficulty slider that is based on how well you are doing. So if you're playing well, the game won't drop as much ammo. So if you go to a section where you do have a lot of ammo and you're not dying and you run out of ammo, the game's not going to suddenly be like, oh, you're low on ammo, we're going to throw it. It's like, no, you're good at this game. Figure it out.
I receive a lot of rifle ammo. Well, I will get rifle ammo, but in this particular section, it's always feast or famine with that. Those sections when you need the rifle, and then those sections when the rifle just is completely useless because you're getting mobbed at close range by like 10 guys. But yeah, that is something to take into consideration, that if you're doing poorly, the game will give you more ammo, so, that's always something to kind of keep in mind. This is a whole cool little section, we get to shoot a cannon, we just want to talk about when we say one-off things. You're not going to shoot a cannon anymore in this entire section, but you get to shoot a cannon.
That's how you unlock doors.
Yeah.
Why don't Leon just will it with him and just blow that door out the first time so he didn't have to search for the animal parts?
I just like the fact that also...
Get Ashley to roll it around while you're exploring.
I just like that also the fact that the cannon is just constantly loaded at all times.
Yeah.
Not an OSHA violation at all.
I don't think they've been to this castle at all.
Yeah, I'd like to see that inspection. So you straight up have a blind Wolverine guy tied up in your basement near your power box. You're not even supposed to have a forklift parked within 10 feet of that thing.
There was nothing in the contract that said I couldn't do that.
We have a great section with our boy. Michael.
Yes.
Explain to me this interaction.
Okay. Lewis rolls up. They call him something different every so often. They call him Lewis and Luis. They go back and forth of what they call this guy.
Yeah.
He shows up and leaves.
He shows up.
Yeah.
He literally shows up. He goes, crap, I dropped it. And then runs back off.
And then Ashley's like, take me with you. And then Lewis is like, nah, you gotta stay with Leon because he's better with the ladies. That's it.
Yeah.
That's this cutscene.
Why is Ashley so eager to go with him? Last time she talked to him, the first thing he said was, I see the president equipped you with ballistics.
Hey, nice rack.
Yeah, literally, he's like, great tits.
That probably won't be in the remake. Or will it?
I kind of hope it
will
is.
What?
They should do like how Bayonetta 3's got like a family-friendly mode, where it's like here's the naked mode and here's the family-friendly mode. I just want like here's Luis where he's a scumbag mode, and here's like the 2022 version where he won't call like nice tits to Ash.
Wow, I see the president has a lovely daughter.
You're a lovely woman, equal in every way. It's just there's so many interactions like this. Him and Ada do this all the time, where they show up just to be like, "It's see ya," and then leave again.
Yeah, it's like it almost feels like it's to remind you that that's a character in the game.
And then, but the thing is too, the more you think about him, the more he really has no real like consequence on this story.
Not really.
Because spoiler, we're going to find him dead.
Yeah.
We don't even see it. We see it happen, but it's not even like it's a big thing. It's
Hey,
just
I found it. Oh no!
And it's just Leon going like, "I'll revenge you." And it's like Leon doesn't even really know him that well. They've only talked like maybe 3 times.
He acts like their best. He acts like he murdered his best friend.
So there's a glitch in Mass Effect 3. This has a point, I swear. Where
has this show had any point, Michael?
So there's a glitch in Mass Effect 3 where if a character is in peril at the last battle in 3, Shepard will scream his name, and it's supposed to be regardless of your relationship with him. is how intense the scream will be. It'll be like, Cortez, or Steve! But there's a glitch, which is the romantic one, if you're romantically involved with this person. The glitch is he will shout, Steve! Regardless of your emotional attachment.
Oh, that's funny. That's
and
great.
then it will go back on track, and it'll go, I'm okay, and then Shepard will go, you sure? So that reminds me, I thought of that bit whenever Leon is picking up his dead friend and yelling in his face, Lois!
Yeah.
Also, I just really hope no one's driving right now because it's just Michael yelling peek into the microphone. Steve!
I backed up. It was lower than peak. I made sure to.
I just love the idea of we caught. Remember that time we did the Stone Cold Steve Austin and glass crash?
We got
Oh,
some
no.
And I got people complaining because they were driving and all of a sudden,
Oh god.
so it's just gonna be that again. I'm gonna write a very clever note here about that particular word I just said to Michael. Yeah, he's just so weird.
Yeah.
He shows up here just to remind you that he exists, and then disappears again. And for some reason, Ashley thinks he's somehow safer to hang out with than Leon.
Yeah, that was weird. Like, what the heck, Ashley? Like,
I just saved you from a bunch of cannons, and you want to go off on this guy who just like. I mean, he gets around faster, obviously.
Yeah.
We then run into our persistent villain of this section.
The best persistent villain in this section.
Every time he shows up, I forget his name every time. He's just little man to me. Like his name. What's his name?
Salazar.
Salazar.
Not to confuse with Sador.
Sadler is our
Yeah,
main.
no, for
Sadler's
real.
our
I
main
wrote
guy.
down. I was like, we're going to. I have a note here that's like, we're going to say their names wrong at least once on this show.
Yeah, Sadler's our main villain, but Salazar is our villain of this start of the game.
Literally our monster of the week.
The
First it
mini-me
was
to
the
the
chief.
Dr. Evil.
Now it's Salazar, and we got a cutscene of who's gonna be the next guy going
Sadler
forward.
straight up does the like Power Rangers thing. He might as well just yell like "Make my monster grow," and then you get a new villain of the Chordal. But yeah, he is such a weird little dude. I like the fact also that he's apparently like 30.
Yeah.
He makes sure to tell you that so you don't feel bad about killing a
Because Leon
kid.
straight up says, "Get
Yeah.
off my back, old man," is a line someone
like, "Oh,
wrote for
he's
this
old."
video game.
Let's throw some great Leon lines in here. There's a
Yeah.
"No thanks, bro," which I thought was hilarious to me because he just says it in the most like Monster Energy drink chugging way possible, where he's just like "No thanks, bro," and it's just like he's a grown Secret Service agent arguing with what appears to be a 14-year-old guy in like Renaissance gear.
Yeah.
It's
Little
just a
Napoleon running around.
little
Yeah,
Napoleon.
Who has like the Imperial Guard from Star Wars, except they have bug faces.
Yeah.
I'm like, I want to know more about these dudes because they do nothing. Much
Well,
like
one
the
of them
Imperial
straight
Guard
up
from
just
Star Wars.
disappears halfway. Like, you fight one of them, and then you'd think that theoretically that means... Because once again, in the rule of video games, you would fight the other one. Because you already got the model and all the attacks and stuff done. But no! He just gets sucked up into a boss battle he plays no role in. This game is very weird.
Yeah.
And I love it. Lewis stole the vaccine.
That's literally my next note.
And
here,
that's kind of what he was referencing before, but it didn't need a whole cutscene to do it.
They just forgot him.
This is where we're going to. I talk about this a lot. This is we spend the most time escorting Ashley in this beginning section, and the game is always like, oh, it's a big escort mission. You don't spend that much time with Ashley in this thing.
No.
You spend it through the first part here, but then Ashley disappears for a long time.
Yep.
And then you have time just to hang out with yourself, and then you go from there. So I always kind of defend Resident Evil 4 by saying that you don't have Ashley with you that long.
Right.
Michael mentioned that there's a boss fight in almost every room. We get the first one here where we get one of my favorite kind of introductions to a boss with the blind Wolverine guys.
Yeah.
Where you have to guide them by sound.
It's worth
Yeah.
noting that to get in the dungeon, the key is on a painting, and it's like where the dude's junk is.
Yeah, you just grab it off his dick.
Yep.
Yeah, you don't keep your keys on paintings of yourself. I mean, I think it's a pretty funny joke. You know that guy put that key there, and he's like, "You see where that key's at?"
I guess very.
Yeah, you want to come down to the dungeon, you gotta go grab the key.
That's that sexy cast for you.
That sexy cat. No, but
that joke would pay off, did you?
No, you didn't. I didn't. Mike was getting into the Segway business. Yeah, I always thought that was a great little boss fight. It's simple, but it teaches you kind of how he walks. He's also one of the few enemies that gets reused. You know, like a lot of times they just, you know, in the way this game operates, most of the time you just never would see him again, but he actually shows back up.
Yeah, he pops up a couple times.
Yeah, he pops up a couple times. Yeah, this is it's kind of a straightforward section just of entering through the castle.
Yeah.
We run into our first gun range, which are pretty cool, pretty early into this, where just straight up gives you an opportunity just to earn points and earn prizes.
Yeah.
Which is such a weird tonal change.
Yeah, it took me out a little bit.
You got this big castle where, you know, you're dealing with all these guys in robes, and they've got, you know, maces and shields and this, that, and the other. And here's a point in which, you know, you deal with a little gun range. You go shoot some cardboard, you know, stand-up.
Is this a part of the merchant same business, or is this like a side business? Is this a separate LLC, is what I'm saying, this gun range business?
I like to believe that these are all different merchants that we run into.
Side hustle.
Yeah.
Probably, because I killed one of them by accident at this point.
You son of a bitch!
Well, when we get thrown in the dungeon where all the bats are, I keep thinking, the bats don't harm... I forgot that the bats don't harm you, so I pull out my knife, and then I turned around and then sliced the merchant in the throat.
Oh.
So I looked up. I'm not screwed, am I? And apparently on professional mode, yeah, you are screwed. If you kill a merchant, they're dead. All of them are dead. But in this one, there's like, no, the next one's fine.
Which proves that it's
A different guy.
different dudes.
On hard mode, it's the same thing.
Yeah, same guy. He's also living life on hard mode. He's got to run to the next spot to go sell you stuff. You know you can just throw a flash grenade, right?
Welcome.
You know you just throw a flash grenade, right?
At those bats?
Yeah.
No, I didn't
You
know
take
that.
them all out.
Oh.
Yeah. Life is full of... There's all... A couple of, like, encounters I want to talk about here. Covering Ashley while she runs and does the different cranks.
The reflecting pool room, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, the reflecting pool room and the room in front of that are some... They can go south on you extremely quickly. This is when I think the combat gets the most difficult. There's lots of sections in which you have to manage enemies coming at you from 4, 5, 6 different directions.
Whenever you have to manage enemies on like multiple levels, that's when the combat gets really hard versus like I need to protect Ashley on one floor while also defending myself on the second floor. There's a couple sections here, and those are some of the more difficult combat sections.
Yeah, and they definitely can, like, they can go south on you pretty quickly. Mm-hmm. And also, like, you're also kind of learning the new enemy types because they're throwing enemies at you that have, like, the metal helmets, so you can't shoot them in the head.
Yeah.
They're throwing lots of enemies with the big weapons and stuff like that.
The shield.
The shields you gotta shatter if you want to.
Fun pro tip there: shoot them with the sniper rifle on the upper right hand corner, and it'll go straight through and hit their head.
Ooh.
And so it just wipe them. You know,
Or if you got a line of them, the mine dart.
Mine, I never buy that.
I always buy that.
I think I've bought it once in my entire time because it is a good weapon, but I'm always thinking like how much space that takes up, you know. So it's a good. I don't know. I primarily save the space.
Yeah. By the end of this section, though, I got all of like the treasure, so I had the largest attaché case.
Yeah.
Going into the final section, so
Always
I had
buy the
plenty of room.
case.
Yes, I
Right
bought
with the
every
case.
case.
As
Case
soon as you
shows
get a
up,
new
buy the
case, get
case.
it.
Always buy the case. But yeah, it's a good combat section here. We get Salazar's hijacking our radios now.
Which I like Hunnigan in this section at all, because she gets cut off. So.
Yeah, Hunnigan's gone for a while here, yeah.
Yeah.
We get a Sewell, everybody's favorite section, where we're dealing with bugs that are invisible.
Got to check that off the Resident Evil checklist. Sewer, check.
Yeah, somewhere Civ 11 just added it to the count. How y'all feel about the bug enemies?
They definitely shocked me.
I feel like I always feel like there was potential for them, but once you kind of realize that the game gives you a ton of shotgun ammo, And 2, you kind of realize that they always like pause in front of you to do a big dramatic like.
Yeah, they were never really. I never felt super threatened after I killed like the first couple because I was like, okay, these are not hard, but they're intimidating before then.
They're kind of all they'll hype them up really well.
Yes,
And Salazar even like warned. He's like, you're gonna have to go down there and deal with
like,
this. Is a great.
I might be confusing the parts, but is that the part where you're like being pursued and it's the bug? Like that's. I might be jumping ahead.
This section has like the sewer monster.
You see like something through the monster's eyes, and it's like they're chasing after you.
That's towards the end of this, isn't
Oh.
it? Where you have to deal with the first of his bodyguards.
Yes.
We're not there yet.
Yes.
Yeah, that's not
Which
for a
that
while.
section is a really good boss fight in my mind. But
Yes.
we'll get there in a second.
Yeah, yeah.
I always feel like the bugs have a lot of potential to be a really good enemy, and they kind of drop the ball on them. And also, they kind of disappear from the game once you get out of here.
Yeah, after this section, you don't see anymore. At least I
Yeah.
don't remember seeing anymore.
Yeah, I'm just not a fan of. I wish that's one of the few times in this game where I feel like there's like a drop ball in a moment. It's like they should have played it more like a horror game. Instead, they play it very much like an action game, but it has a mechanic that's a horror mechanic with it being invisible. But little things.
I
They
did like
always get
shooting
me.
the airborne ones though.
Yeah,
And
it's
then
cool
just
to
watch
knock 'em
fall.
out.
It was
Yeah.
fun.
And like I said, it's just I wish there were a little bit more like less of them, but more aggressive.
Yeah.
Because they spend so much time doing the little like you're rising up, yelling at your thing that
Yeah.
it doesn't really make them a threat. Most of the time, you just stick yourself in a corner and let them charge at you and shotgun them, and it's no big deal.
Yep.
But I could see them doing something in a remake there and making them real scary.
Especially in the game with the striker, because then you could just knock out like
Oh,
waves of them. That has a wide spread to that thing.
The striker becomes
Essential purchasing.
I love that shotgun. Some people there's like a lot of people who like stick with riot gun for the rest of this game.
I can
And
kind of see that because if you, I can see the argument, but I'm like striker every time.
Striker's so fun. I love that striker. The maze.
You lied to me. I looked up and those dogs still attack me.
Really?
Yeah, they attack me.
Okay, I've only ever done it outside the church. I've never done it in the maze. I might have to look into that.
It didn't work for me because I'm like,
I need to-
aha, you fools!
Meanwhile,
I
you were getting-
invested you and I died.
I've only done it in front of the church. Now I ran this off of decent information from like speedrunning people. So maybe I was wrong. If not, haha. I also played you like Salazar. I also played you. Me and that little Napoleon guy in it together. Haha. I hate the maze.
Oh.
I hate it so bad because if you go into the maze without decent amount of ammunition, those dogs will just ruin your day. Especially the dogs who have the tentacle heads that charge at you with the tentacle heads and stuff.
They are a problem.
They will just wipe you out. I usually go through most of my medical supplies getting through the maze. And that's even from somebody who knows what to expect. Do you guys, with the dogs in the cages, I always, when I go to there's you can see both of the cages from like the middle of the maze.
Mhm.
I usually just shoot the cages from there and let them walk their way to me just to get rid of them. But this time I forgot to do that. And I got distracted shooting at one of the dogs and accidentally triggered the cage and had like 6 dogs on me at once. It didn't go well.
I just throw a grenade in there and have them.
Yeah,
all
yeah.
blow up together.
If you have them,
Yeah,
that's a good
and
thing.
then open them up and be like, ooh, free ammo, free health, let's go.
Yeah, the maze though is always one of those sections that when I get to it, I just kind of like.
It always takes me a couple
Yeah.
tries to get through, but I'm never mad at it. I'm like,
It's
yeah.
not a bad section. It's just to me, it's always difficult. I even like no matter how many times I've played through this game, I can play a lot of it on autopilot. This section always is like, okay, now we got to focus. Got to make sure we manage our ammunition, watch the corners. It's just always, the maze is always that section I get to. I'm like, God damn it, the maze. I could see them doing some awesome stuff with the remake in the maze. I always was looking for potential because I imagine it'll be more of a horror game. And the maze, the sewers, we talked about that kind of being a wasted mission, enemy that could be more interesting.
A horror twist on this game for the remake would make that much more.
Yeah, that maze could be amazing as a horror twist. You could see the dogs busting through through the sides of the maze, like having them pursue you. Mm-hmm. You could make the dogs a little bit more random. Let them just release them into the maze and let them just hunt you would be cool. There's a lot of good mechanics you could do here. Ada shows up. We ain't seen Ada unless you went back into that room and saw her shoot the mayor through the glass there. So this is her first like big reveal. You haven't played Resident Evil 2, right?
No, but this lady likes to put a gun to the back of Leon's head.
Yeah, that's Ada's thing. Leon acts like he cares, but in reality, it's just a thing. No, but Ada and Leon have a relationship from RE2. So he knows exactly who it is. Ada's always showing up trying to steal stuff that Leon's trying to blow up. Just a thing. Ada does the Lewis stuff, the same thing, where she constantly shows up and then just jumps out windows and stuff. And never explains why she's doing it.
I love how Leon's like, "Who are you?" and then just takes off her thin glasses and was like, "Ada!"
She's wearing the same dress.
Yeah, I was like, how did he not know that was her? If he knew her, how did he not know?
But also, like, it's been 6 years.
He assumes she probably has more than one dress.
And plus, depending on how he thinks she leaves at the end of RE2, there's reason to think, like...
He is running... Yeah. You run off the assumption at the end of RE2 she is dead.
Oh.
Because the only survivors of Raccoon City, correct, that Leon would know about would be Claire
and
he would know about Jill.
Sherry.
Well, Sherry and Claire are with him.
Yeah.
But Jill, he would know. No, he wouldn't know about Jill. So really, he only assumes there's like 2 people who survive Raccoon City. So he doesn't think Ada's still alive. So I kind of wish they would play it more like, oh shit, you're still alive, instead of him just not knowing who it is, even though.
Yeah.
Why are you here? Like, that's all you have to say.
Yeah.
You're working with Wesker. The one name drop of the greater Resident Evil story going on, and then. Like, let's not talk about that.
Leon dodges a lot of the bullets of Resident Evil storytelling because he just doesn't deal with them. Like...
You're acting like 6 doesn't exist. You are acting like 6 doesn't exist.
Leon is perfect. He's in every perfect video game, and he's not in 6. And if you send us a message saying otherwise, I will block you from all social media. God damn, poor Leon. I will say Leon has the best section in Resident Evil 6. He's like, because Resident Evil 6, much like Fire Emblem, he has 3 different campaigns you can start off in.
Oh.
And one of them's a Gears of War campaign with Chris, because Chris is that guy. And then you got one with superpowers with Wesker's son. But then Leon actually has a decent one. So Leon, even in the crappiest Resident Evil game, he still comes out okay.
I own that game and haven't played it yet.
You keep acting like you're going to enjoy it when you play it. It's not going to be.
Maybe just to spite. If anything, just to spite you.
Spiteful enjoyment.
That's the best.
There's a cover mechanic.
That is the best.
Chris has a cover mechanic.
Yeah. Okay. Got covered from those zombies.
The zombies you shoot guns.
It happens.
Oh, I hate that, Michael.
Why would you give a zombie a gun?
Why? That's a good question.
The merchant's got to make money somehow.
Don't they do that?
He's got a family, I assume.
Third Land of the Dead movie has a zombie with a gun. Yeah, they have guns in that movie.
Yeah, exactly.
Romero did it, so clearly we all should. It's not like he ever made a shitty movie. He's dead, 80. Hey, George
Romero? Oh, yeah, he passed away.
Oh, he did? Oh, recently. Man, I don't know.
They did it. They paid a tribute to him in Call of Duty Zombies because he was in one of the maps. And when they remade that map, there's a pair of George Romero's glasses, and you can click on it and get 500 points, and then your character will make a quip about how, like, this man was a legend, I know it, and stuff like that.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, he did.
I feel a little bit guilty about saying that he made shitty movies.
Well, I mean,
made
director's perfect.
He made some very good movies.
Yeah.
He made a lot of shitty movies.
Everybody, nobody's perfect.
Yeah. I'm also sort of on topic still because it's a zombie movie.
Yeah, so I'm sorry.
There's just so much stuff that happens in this short section here.
We get a note that says Ada is believed to have removed the Las Plagas from Lewis because he was infected and that was not.
There's lots of notes about how they're all in the background,
Maybe not for pure reasons, maybe for the sample itself was what the note was implying, because we know Ada has Ada's a giant ulterior motive. Yep.
Yeah, that's just on her Tinder profile. Lewis dies in this section here. We talked about how Leon acts like they were the best bros in the world, even though we've only talked to Lewis for a grand total of maybe 20 minutes.
Sadler has a tentacle comes out of his cloak.
That's just that feels
That feels on brand for this game.
feels like real like Sadler trying to send some messages. No, that is on brand for this game. I mean, people have tentacles in Resident Evil. That's not that unusual.
He's like the 5th guy with the tentacle.
Yeah, the guys always have. They kept that into the modern. Resident Evil 7 has tentacles.
It's true. It's true.
That's just when in doubt, throw a tentacle on
It's
it.
a Japanese game after all.
And he does impale somebody with the tentacle. Yeah, there's a lot of symbolism in this here game. But I like the fact that it's literally Lewis is like, hey, I got it. And then he just stabs him and then takes it right from him. It's like, what is Lewis doing here? What is Lewis's purpose in this here video game?
Yeah, he may not have even... Yeah, I was thinking the same thing. Like, I just found it so strange how Leon acted like his best friend died.
Does Sadler... I can't remember what happens here because everything's a fever dream at this point. But Sadler takes the vaccine and just pieces out while Leon's on the ground with... Why he doesn't go after Sadler?
Yeah.
Yeah, Sadler walks away. He doesn't even run.
With the thing that can save him and Ashley.
You can catch him, Leon. Run.
Salazar.
His friend just died. What would you expect him to do? You insensitive jerk.
Every time Salazar needs to exit the scene, he always exits like behind a locked door or up an elevator or something like that. Sadler just walks away, and Leon's got a gun. He can shoot him.
Gun plural.
He's got like 5 guns on him at this point. And instead, he's just like, Lewis! Remember that time, Lewis, we got tied together? Remember that time we were in that boathouse? Those were good times, Lewis.
I offered you gum, Lewis. I don't offer everybody gum.
I never offered Claire any gum. Fuck Claire.
Remember that time you objectified this woman in front of me?
Ashley's like, I remember. I thought he was pretty cool. Ashley, shut up. Ashley's been kidnapped at this point. She walks to a
kidnapped by a wall
where bars go across her, and then the wall like spins like a Scooby-Doo cartoon.
It's a very Scooby-Doo moment. And you can walk to the wall and look at it, and he'll be like, I know way to get behind this wall.
I'm surprised there's no chase sequence where the cult members are like chasing you through a bunch of doors.
Yeah. And then eventually Leon's chasing the cult members.
Just Leon Kennedy. I would play like a Leon
And then Ashley's
Kennedy.
like tied up and like bound, like bouncing
around. Or she like a door opens and it's just Ashley standing there, and then another door opens and it's just Lewis like smoking a cigarette and be like, oh, roll the scene. And walks in, yeah.
As like 60s music is playing. I want that section.
I want that too.
Man.
In the remake, please.
If they want to stay on par with this game's weirdness, you would do that.
That wall couldn't have passed inspection.
No, that wall. We go back to Ward of OSHA violations. But we rescue Ashley temporarily, just to have Ashley have to run away and go on her own again. But this gives us our only real horror sequence in this entire game.
Where you're playing as Ashley.
When you play as Ashley.
Fun fact: in the Japanese version of this section, this has the fixed camera angles from the original Resident Evil.
Oh. Huh.
You can kind of tell in the design of this.
Mm-hmm.
You don't have to really be super like speed focused with this. You have to dodge some enemies, which they give you so many of those lamps to throw.
The encounters are more puzzles than they are like actual enemy encounters. It's like lead them to this section where you can throw at them. You can open up the door to run to your side to trap the other guy in, and he won't follow you. So it's very much like, here's the puzzle of this room. Here's the puzzle of this room.
I could see, they did, with RE3, they did a lot of jumping to another character point of view, where Jill would be out of commission and we would jump to a different character. I could see us doing more Ashley stuff in an RE4 remake.
I feel like you would have to give her like a weapon, though. Like maybe a pistol or...
I don't know. Like I could see it being pretty effective to have her being unarmed.
That's true, yeah.
And this section actually works out pretty good. The only thing I don't like about this section is the fact that there was a slide puzzle, and I hate slide puzzles.
I used to be better at these. I used to do those for fun, and now years removed from that, this took me like a good 10 minutes to
It
knock
took me
out.
a long time.
I actually enjoyed this slide puzzle.
Really?
I
Yeah.
like it, but it took me a really long time because it was like, man, I love these. I used to be better at these.
I was
Yeah.
surprised. Like, I'm not usually that good at it, but I knocked it out in about 5 minutes.
I'm gonna download an app on my phone that's just those, so I can get good at those again. Just knock out slide
I'm not
puzzles.
good at them. I'm not. I've never been good at them. So
I
I,
really
was really
liked-
frustrated by it. But that's just, I think, a me thing. I can't, like, it's not the game's fault. It's just me not liking slide puzzles.
No, there's lots of little things like that in games like this. Like, I really enjoyed the whole Ashley section. Really.
No, yeah,
I had a lot of
actually-
fun with it.
And, you know,
I wasn't expecting it, so I was like, ooh.
and it keeps things fresh. It's short enough. You know, there's the
Yeah. It never
you know,
felt like a
getting by
drag.
getting by the guys section. There was the navigating the different gates.
There's dodging the knights on
dodging
the
the-
suit of armor again, straight out of Scooby Doo.
The second I
knights
saw
will-
one of those knights, I was like, that's gonna be alive. That's gonna move.
Yes. But it does a cool thing of kind of making you not believe it, because they do the fall where it's like the axe comes down and you just have to dodge it. So you're like, well, maybe that's the only problem I got to deal with.
Yeah.
And then when you finish the slide puzzle, they come alive. But it does a decent job of trying to change your expectations. And
Yeah.
I think the Ashley section is pretty damn good, to be honest with you. I actually
Agreed.
like this.
Agreed.
It's just long enough for how long you want it. It's not too long. I feel pretty good about the Ashley
Exactly. Then they're reunited, and Leon pats her head.
section.
Good, Ashley.
Good,
Yeah.
Ashley. You want a treat? You want a treat, Ashley? They're gonna have to do some work with Ashley in their remake.
Yeah.
She's gonna be their, as a character, she's gonna be their biggest like change, I think.
Yeah, and you need to, because Ashley, there's not a lot gameplay wise. She's fine. I think this section's good. There's just not a lot to her outside of this like one little spot here.
She's the MacGuffin.
She's the MacGuffin. She's the one who's getting, she's the one you're having to save constantly. And it does feel very, it feels like she's just a walking MacGuffin. She's a walking story tactic. But I do feel like this is her one little moment in the sun, you know?
Yeah. And it'd be nice to see more of those in the
Yeah, I
remake.
think it would be, I think you could make a lot of good horror sections with Ashley. I actually think playing as Ashley more in the remake.
Like if they're separated, and then Leon's like the action game, and then you cut to Ashley, and she's doing like the horror section.
Or do like
like
the-
you could
Yeah.
have the horror section coming up with Leon. If you put Ashley in there instead, that would change the dynamic of that entire encounter.
Or what you do is
Yeah.
also, because Ashley's a lot of times right in front of Leon, you could do sections from Ashley's point of view and then play that same section again as Leon. So it's a chance to tease what Leon's about to have to go deal with. Like, imagine running through the maze with Ashley and then having to enter the maze as Leon.
As the dogs are like coming out, and then when the dogs are just there.
The
So-
dogs come out with Ashley leaves and then going into the maze knowing the dogs are in there with Leon.
Yeah.
You could
Yeah.
do a lot of stuff there. Ashley, while I think will be the biggest changes, is the biggest potential for them to really make this game unique.
Yeah.
Is play more into what's her story and what's going on with her, and using that to reflect on Leon more than her just being the person that runs behind you. That I usually play as the unlockable armor so she can't die.
Because Resident Evil's up until this point had like a scenario, B scenario.
Yeah, you
thing.
could really lean into that with Ashley being the B scenario.
Mhm.
Because this game kind of has that with the Separate Ways DLC,
But that wasn't until
that's
later.
later, yeah.
This game had DLC?
Well,
No,
not DLC, but the PS2 version has extra content.
you're gonna when you beat this game, you're gonna unlock a lot of content.
Oh,
that was added later. So when I say DLC,
You know
it was not on the GameCube version.
gotcha.
You know the Mercenaries mode from 8?
Yes.
That originated from this game.
Yes.
Oh.
And then there will be a story-driven
2 story-driven
yeah,
expansions.
two. Little like mini campaigns that you will unlock when you beat this. Well, I think you have to unlock one after you beat Separate Ways.
No, they're both unlocked.
They're both unlocked?
Yeah.
Okay. But yeah, there's a lot of stuff you're going to get.
Cool.
They talk a lot about scripts with Salazar, where you think it's just a one-time bit, and this conversation just goes on. Like, you got Leon tells him to leave before the audience gets pissed off, and they're like, that's not how I wrote this script. He's like, well, if I wrote this script, you wouldn't even be in it. And it's just like, what are they, what's going on?
Yeah.
Leon and Salazar have the mentality of like two people who hate being neighbors with
Yes.
Like, that's just the level of.
Sometimes Salazar is SpongeBob and sometimes Leon SpongeBob.
Yeah, it just changes depending on the day.
I was gonna say, these guys they're two people who always have to have the last word.
Yes.
And when you put them in a room together, they're always going to try to one up each other.
And then
even if even the conversation doesn't make sense anymore, but they still keep going.
We go back to like weird one-off things. We have Lava Room.
Oh yeah.
Naturally, the dragon
lava room. Why?
This castle has a giant gear bridge that moves you like 10 feet. Why isn't there just a bridge there? What is the point of this gear thing?
Why was there a point of making that? Like, think about it. Some dude walked for a very long time on that one section of Leon riding across the gear, and like it could have just been a bridge. They had already made a ton of those.
He's the best contractor in the world. He's like, I can do this job for longer.
Well, I was talking about it from a gameplay design point of view.
Oh, well, gameplay design point.
Yeah, I was like, there's some dude who worked for probably like 2 months on how that gear looked.
I thought you meant like in universe, someone who
Yeah,
worked
yeah,
a lot of time on that.
I don't want to break down Resident Evil contractors. I mean, those guys, next level contractors, dude. But yeah, and then there's a roller coaster inside of the castle.
Yes.
Why? Because
Takes you back to the entrance. It's like you could have made like you already established mine carts are gonna be a thing. Why didn't just make it a mine cart?
Yeah,
Instead
no,
it's
Oh,
good
a roller
point.
coaster complete with handlebars and actually jumps in like wee. It's gonna be fun.
yeah,
Good point though. Why wouldn't they just lean into the mine carts more instead of
because some dude walked for a very long time on just you to ride that thing like twice.
I mean, it was cool and I liked it.
Yeah, but it's
But-
just that's his game though.
Yeah.
It's just a constant one-off thing that some dude worked for a very long time on, and now you never see it again.
Why is there a dragon room?
Why? No, there's no explanation. It's
Yeah.
just cool. It's just cool, Michael.
It is cool.
They operate the dragons like turrets and move it back and forth.
Yeah.
And even like the bases themselves with that thing just move like along the walls. I'm like,
And then when you shoot the dude, the whole thing collapses.
yeah. This is bad design.
Yeah, I mean, well, he can't win them all. He made a roller coaster inside the castle. Come and break. I mean,
He had to cut the budget somewhere.
That's where the budget ended. Yeah.
talking about enemies we don't see much. We basically grab the Holy Grail and trigger a big fight with a bunch of knights. And like, why aren't these knights in this more? But we fight them here, and then we don't really see them anymore.
Okay, this confuses me. Are there people inside that are possessed by the parasite, or is the parasite
In the
know how to
armor.
operate a suit of armor?
I always take it
Ooh.
as the parasite is in the armor.
I like that more. That's interesting.
Yeah, because if you
Interesting to
shoot
me.
off the head, like you notice it doesn't blow in like blood or anything like you would when you hit the people. I think it's just the parasites all in the armor.
I like that more. I like that. I hope
It's
that's
a really good fight. And
a
I
lot of
like
fun.
fighting the knights because it's it's fun shooting their helmets off and distracting them and blowing off the parasites. It's pretty
the
fun.
mind
fight.
darts here is fun because the explosion that happens as a result is a good time.
Those spike ceilings.
Yeah.
I want to dissect this section here. So,
If you're looking for logic, keep trying.
So, just in literally a 2-minute span of gameplay, you run into Salazar's room. He runs, rubbing his hands, laughing as he triggers the trap that is a spike ceiling slowly coming down. That's no problem. You shoot.
With four obvious buttons.
Yes, and then you leave that room. Leave that room trying to fight Salazar. Uh-oh! Dudes just bust out of the wall with a giant, insane mechanism that's turning. And you're like, oh, this is going to be a problem. You run to the end of the hall, you fire 2 bullets, and that's it. That's all you do. I timed it. It takes them 15 full seconds to get from one side of that hallway to the other. 2 shots in 15 seconds.
Hey, know when you're
And then it just keeps going. Like, the music stops, and the machine just keeps going to the end of this hallway.
Know when you're gonna see that tractor again?
Never again.
Never again. Some guy modeled that tractor for it to show up one time and you shoot 2 bullets.
Rigged it, animated it.
Yeah.
Made an entire sequence of
This
it.
game makes,
In
from a financial point of view, this game makes no sense.
What I will say without spoiling anything, that enemy with the blades, where you shoot the 2 of them, there's something.
Is that Nate?
There's a reference to that.
Is that Nate?
where you might do something similar that's a lot more in depth.
Because that's a modern game. They're like, if we made this damn thing, you're gonna look at it for a little
It
while.
is very cool. That's all I'm gonna say. And
You're gonna look at this for 15 seconds.
Yeah.
Is how long that hallway sequence lasts. And that's right after the main villain runs out of the room rubbing his hand. I could talk about this section all day. I could spend an hour talking about this 20-second sequence of gameplay. Because it breaks my brain. This should not exist.
No, it wouldn't today.
It can't. It can't. Financially, you could not justify paying a whole crew of people
to animate a sequence that
animate
could
that
end in 15
in
seconds.
15 seconds. And it's not even like it's like a puzzle where people are going to fail it multiple times to figure it out. It's pretty self-explanatory.
I think I died once. I
shoot them.
Yeah, I died once because I didn't see them on the thing until like halfway down when they were halfway through.
Yeah.
But after that, I got it.
So add another 10 seconds for you.
Yep.
You know, it's
25
Like,
seconds.
oh, I should have shot those dudes. Okay, I shot those dudes.
Yep, that was it. That was
all right.
That was my experience. I think my brain was like, all right, that's done.
Moving on.
Ashley's once again stolen
Yes.
by some bugs this time. Once again,
It
Ashley,
happens.
she's not.
She's like Sokolov in Metal Gear Solid 3, just taken by bee people.
just constantly. But that's the thing. Also, I always bring up like Ashley spends a lot of time not with you.
Yeah.
We get the clock tower and the bridge fight here.
I'm gonna cross out Clock Tower off of the Resident Evil
Yeah, you
checklist
can take
here.
that off. Yeah, that's in every Resident Evil.
Not
Which-
the remake, though. That's the thing that was cut from the remake.
Yeah, I was cut in 3's remake. Man, in the defense though, no one liked Clock Tower in 3. I didn't like Clock Tower.
Not until you removed it, then people were very upset that you took the Clock Tower.
And there was a section in 3 remake that is reminiscent.
You walk through the bottom of it.
Yeah,
you don't go up in
climb
there.
up in there and stuff. I think they actually I don't like Clock Tower in regular 3 anyway. But the bridge and the Clock Tower here is ball. Like that fight on the bridge is where I always lose a lot of ammunition because there was a ton of freaking dudes. Also, by the way, we didn't mention this. They're straight up shooting RPGs at you now.
Yep.
Yeah, you got RPGs.
Oh, that's right. Are we already past the point where the painting opens up and there's two guys with...
Oh, now that happens all the time. They're all the time popping out with RPGs.
That's where I think you were saying last time that the merchants has a side hustle selling to...
Oh, yeah,
same
he's
dudes.
selling to
Oh,
everybody.
he doesn't discriminate.
He's giving them all those maces and stuff. He's selling to them.
Yep.
I love also like the hierarchy. Like we run into like his more elite guards who have like scythes. I'm a big fan of all this, the little like applied stuff that is in there. This is where we get the coolest fight I think in this whole section where we fight the right hand. This is a section in which you're basically having to hold out for an elevator.
Yes.
But then you're constantly having to basically freeze the right hand to do damage to him.
This part was so suspenseful.
But it's suspenseful. He's dangerous. He's popping in and out of the ceiling. And if they do anything in the remake, I hope they make this section.
This needs to be expanded.
This needs
It
to be
really
expanded.
does. I love this fight.
It's a great boss fight.
It's a mix of... It's very alien. Like, he's crawling on the walls. He has that tail that's going to come down and try to impel you. But what blows my mind is the sequence that leads up to this section is a joke. Literally, Leon falls down a pit, uses a grappling hook that he had this whole time.
Yeah.
That could have
Yeah.
solved so many problems.
Listen, if Leon
Well,
Kennedy having a grappling hook is the thing that breaks the realism in this
Yeah.
game for you, I don't know where you've been.
I won't fall for this old trick.
Like he's having this happen to him
And then-
all the time.
And then the second best line in this entire game next to bingo is,
Oh, yeah.
I have sent my right hand to dispose of you. Your right hand comes off?
Leon Kennedy is a genius.
Oh, he's great.
I love Leon Kennedy because if you take this all as Leon is completely aware that he's being an asshole,
Your right
he's
hand
a-
likes bingo?
he is a genius. I love Leon.
This is where I killed the merchant right before this section.
Oh,
I bought the striker for him before I kill him.
What's he doing down here? He's in a pit with impaled bodies.
He knows
He's
what's
just hanging
he
out.
knows what's coming up.
Yeah.
He's like, I know what's behind that door. It's a problem. You're gonna want this new shotgun.
I really wonder how they do the merchant in RE4.
And this
You
is where I
can't not
bought the-
have him.
I wonder if they're going to make him more of a character like they did with Duke in Resident Evil.
I hope they do.
Because I liked Duke a lot.
I want
I
the
can-
merchant to be
I-
a expanded.
I have a theory. on basically, I'll get to my theory once we wrap up this, how I think this whole section is going to play out, and the merchant ties into how I think it's going to happen. But this is where I also brought the broken butterfly, because I knew this thing come up. I was like, it's Magnum time. Once the game gives you Magnum ammo, you're like, I'm going to need this.
That's such a good gun. And it's a boss killer.
Mm-hmm.
The final boss in this section, that's how I take him out every time.
I bought the Magnum.
Oh, it's so fun. It's so fun. It feels so good, too.
Yep.
Oh, it feels
That sound, just like a crack of a whip.
Also, how big the kick is, that it comes all the way back almost past Leon's head every time he shoots it. It's just doosh. And he's got 2 hands on it, too, so you can tell it's just powerful. They do a great job with that.
Kicking him back.
At this point, also, my baseline pistol has been upgraded to the point that it's a hand cannon.
Mm-hmm.
When you get that thing upgraded pretty well, it's damn good.
Mm-hmm.
So basically the section is you're trying to reactivate an elevator to go down to the next point.
Yes.
I never killed this dude before in any playthrough.
Yeah,
I always
you can't wait.
Yeah.
Yeah, you can dodge them.
That's what I did. I didn't even end up killing him.
Yeah, I always kill them because you can knock the cryo stuff down.
Yes.
And then shotgun, and
I thought that's what you had to do, because the thing was moving up very slowly. I keep thinking that's tied to the damage you're doing on him, because I never see it move until I hit him a few times, and then I see it move up.
Yeah.
So I'm like, oh, this is his health meter. That's tied to a real world object. That's what I thought, but if it's on a timer, that's a different thing. But
yeah, I think it says 4 minutes.
Gotcha.
Something like that.
Yeah, there is a timer.
Yeah.
I think it's
I
4
didn't see
minutes.
that physically. I just saw the dots that went up, and
Yeah.
every time Leon's like, hurry up.
Yeah.
This could be such a good section. I hope the remake.
This is going to be
heavily.
expanded, especially with the tech they made for persistent enemies. Rather than just having them pop up on the ceiling in random spots, having you having to be aware of his location to
You know how
you.
in 7 the sequence when you walk down the hallway and Jack comes through the wall?
Yes.
Yes.
You could do stuff like that here, left and right.
This is going to be the best section in the remake. This is going to be what people are talking about.
I really hope so. And it's a good boss here. I like this section a whole freaking lot.
It's really good.
He's probably my favorite boss in this game so far.
I think so.
Definitely
too.
the scariest, because it's instantly this is a horror game now.
And this is where you get the perspective of him, where it sees it through his eyes coming after you, which is cool.
Because they do that trick in Resident Evil 1, at least the remake of Resident Evil 1. They do that too, and it's effective every time, because that's how they introduced the hunters in 1.
You see him from their perspective.
As they're going through areas you've already been to, so you know he's
that
coming for me.
They're chasing you. I love that. I always love that kind of trope.
This is really, really, really freaking good, guys. This is at this point, we're kind of exiting the castle at this point. We're moving away from the rest of the castle here. They seem to Sadler's kind of lost his faith in Salazar, so he sends somebody else. This is when we get a teaser for who the next big bad.
The villain of the week will be the guy in the beret.
Yeah.
He sends him to go get Ashley. We get a lot of lore here about the original owners of the castle, kind of what the La Plagueis is. You just get a lot of you get some lore here and stuff like that, which is cool.
And how because this is where we get to the mine section.
Yeah, we fight 2 trolls.
Yes, I
which
love
is a
this.
cool section where you can trigger it and make
And
them
kill
fall
one
into
of them.
the
Kill one of
lava.
them.
Can you get both of them with it?
No. Well,
I don't think so.
No, I had them both lined up, and only one fell into the thing.
Okay.
I've only.
Because I got the one and I tried to do it again. It's like, nope, you can only.
Yeah, it's it's locked. Or,
It locked up on.
But it is cool to use the zip line to get by him. You go up there, he attacks, you zip line down,
It's pretty easy from there, but it's still a cool sequence. I like it a lot.
It's fun. I like it a lot. I like all the tunnel stuff. The fighting's pretty straightforward. It leads us to the mine cart. I like the mine cart. Nothing scarier than having to do with the chainsaw jump into your mine cart.
I hated that.
And then
Well, I
those
love
guys
it,
who get behind you, so you got to take your eye off of that guy
Yeah, you
and
hear
turn
him-
around and deal with the people behind you. And the whole time, every time you hear that, you're like, oh crap.
Move up, throw a grenade in the cart, run back.
I always tried to be
Repeat ad nauseum. do a knife from across the way before he jumps over and then keep running back. It's a
very good sequence.
I always tried to be either in the very front cart or the very back cart, just so I would never get pinched in the middle cart.
Yeah, and also it's fun to shoot them before they jump in and they
Yes.
fall onto the tracks.
Yep, that's fun too.
Another sequence in which we don't ever see this happen again. We get chased by a statue.
basically a robot.
A giant automaton creature.
He's either using medieval technology or he's using technology from the year 2056.
I was almost expecting Leon to be like, next time he talked to him, like, must be trying to compensate for something, Salazar.
That sounds like something Leon would say. I guarantee that line was in a draft somewhere, probably.
Probably was. Oh, that's so great. My favorite section here, this is one of my favorite Leon moments, is when he throws the knife into Salazar's hand.
Oh,
because it just comes out of nowhere where you're just like, Salazar's going to pull another trick. And Leon's just like, screw you, man. Throws a knife into his hand.
And then he's just like...
It's just such a... I love it. I just love it because also... And like, Leon could have just shot him.
Yeah.
He's been in this room with this little guy for like 10 different times. And here he could throw the knife into him. But nope. He's got to prove a point. You know? Hey, throws a knife straight to the hand. I love Leon Kennedy. Or as Salazar likes to say, Mr. Kennedy.
Mr. Kennedy.
Mr. Kennedy.
A lot of good voices in this game.
Oh, yeah.
Please don't make them more serious. I want them all just like...
Goofy.
I both hate and love this next section with the lift.
I died so much here. I only had mind dart ammo.
Oh, God. Yeah, I know. I kept dying at the lift, too.
It was a problem. I was like, please, shotgun, something
It
else.
took me like 4 or 5
They
tries.
kept giving
It's like,
me-
here's a green herb to get back the health you lost from blowing yourself up again.
Yep.
I had so much. I kept getting submachine gun ammo, which is not what you want here. You want
No, it's
something that
not.
will kill them quickly. And also, I kept triggering the parasites busting out. And in
Yeah.
that close quarters, those parasites will just fuck you up.
They will.
It's just nightmarish. But I like it, but I both dislike it. I like the concept that they weigh down the elevator, and that's why it's not moving.
Yeah.
But I don't like it because sometimes it's just like, God damn, they keep falling.
Yeah.
Please stop, please.
You can't take them out fast enough.
Yeah. We get the classic, when in doubt, gross plant tentacle monster.
It happens.
Everybody becomes a gross plant tentacle monster. This boss fight has an instant kill, but it does such a good job of telegraphing it. I can't be mad at it, because the mouth opening, you kind of know. And then you can always just jump down. So you just shoot. He does that. You jump down, climb back up the ladder, shoot, Sniper rifle makes this pretty easy. Magnum makes it easy.
I got hit once. You just go up to the far as you can do. Magnum. His little pod opens up, and you just go. I had the fully upgraded Red 9 at this point with the added bonus upgrade you get. So it was just headshot. Did that this one time. It abides by the rule of 3. Opens up the third time it opens up. Beat it. Went okay, cool. That took me like 1 minute, 2 minutes, something like that.
I do like the fact also that the left hand becomes a non-factor. You don't fight the left hand. You fight the right hand, but you never fight the left hand. He just gets sucked up into the monster.
Well, the left hand fights when you throw the knife at it. No, I'm kidding.
I was sitting there trying to figure out which
Wait,
hand
was that his left hand?
I think it was.
It was.
Actually, yeah.
Oh.
That was actually funny. Yeah. For a second, I was like, "Well, I thought it was right." No, it is left. That was a good joke. That's high quality.
Also, we're noting they had the ritual. It was like, well, actually, he's not here. It cuts to her on a boat going, Leon! As the boat goes to an island.
Also, they never make clear what the ritual is. It's something about turning her into like them.
Oh, we already had it.
for sure.
But then it's just like, oh, we already did it. Yeah.
You missed the party. The confetti's on the floor now. Cake's already been eaten.
Before we go into
Pizza's
part
cold.
one, before we move on,
Tentacles already sprouted out of the cake.
Yeah, pretty much. Before we move to the next section and our stopping point, Ada's just in the boat. She's like, "You going to the island?" Leon's like, "Yeah, I'm going to the island." She's like, "Okay, hop in." And just Ada once again just shows up for 5 seconds. Here's a spoiler: she disappears again. Leon gets pissed about it. It's a damn good video game.
I love this game so
Yeah,
much.
I'm loving this. I think this is my favorite section so far. I've only played, of course, the first two. I love the village. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah.
I see why it's your favorite for sure, but I think that this is my favorite section.
Yeah.
This game makes no sense.
No.
And no one can tell me it does. But I still love it.
And the remake better not tell me it does either.
I don't want it. I understand that we're going to need probably be more horror and more serious. But a lot of the charm of this game is just how freaking weird it is.
Yes.
And, I mean, there's one point in this section where you break a glass and you can get an RPG. It's just an RPG and some glass. Break it, grab a free RPG. Hey. Like, there's cultists with RPGs and then there's guys with maces.
Is this the same one-time use RPG?
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay.
you can get for the 30,000.
It's the only time I ever usually have one is when I get it there.
Yeah.
Just
You don't really need it for any of like this game because you think, oh, big boss fight. That wasn't too bad.
Yeah.
The in-section boss fight. But
No, yeah, and really, to be honest with you, I don't think it would be helpful.
Not really, cause
I don't
not unless
know.
you shoot it when the pod's open.
I wonder
Yeah.
how much damage that does. That might be a big damage boost.
I couldn't imagine
I
it
don't
being any
know.
more than enough to just get him to go back and reset the phase.
I imagine it would be like one phase of shooting him with like in the head with the sniper rifle or the R9 or something.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I couldn't imagine it being any better than that.
yeah, it's a great video game. I'm looking forward to part 3
Where we finished the game.
where we finish the game.
All right, you ready to hear my theory about how they can make this remake work?
Yes.
I feel like the village is going to play basically exactly the same. You have the same layout, be a more linear experience. But I think once you get to the castle, that's when it's going to go back and become like a classic Resident Evil style. This castle, I feel like, is going to operate similar to the mansion from the first game or the police station from the second game, where we're going to be finding keys to open up doors and trying to remember our spatial awareness. I feel like with a few tweaks, you can make this castle an area where you're like treading through rooms again, as like working your way up the castle in a way, like starting on the bottom floor, then working your way up higher and higher until you get to like the clock tower, and then it becomes linear from there until the end of the section. So I feel like that's how you could do it. And in that case, I feel like you could have like one merchant spot in this castle to have the horror element escalate more. If you have one merchant location and you realize I want to upgrade my guns now you have a section to backtrack to. Now you have a section that you can try to fight your way to with your limited ammo, so you can go back, and I imagine you can, in this version, you'll be able to buy ammunition from the merchant as well, maybe a limited stock, kind of like how the health items work. You can buy 2 every time you find a merchant.
I think you could buy them from Duke. I'm trying to remember if you could buy ammo from Duke.
Gotcha.
I think you
Was
could.
it like a limited supply to like balance that out?
If you could, it was limited. I'm trying.
Okay.
Kind of like how in RE7 the trailer becomes like a safe spot to walk your way back to.
I feel
Yeah.
like the
Where
castle will have that.
Where you'll walk your way back to the trailer.
Yeah.
In RE7, section when you get out of the house and get to the trailer.
And there's gonna be sections where you like the electrical room where you're finding the hand and like the sewer area. I feel like that's gonna be like a one time. We roped it off. You're gonna have this like horror experience in maybe once with Ashley, maybe once with Leon. That cuts itself off, and then you just don't have to go in those rooms again. You got everything you need from there. That room's just locked off because I believe the police station did some rooms like that too, where it's like you don't need to be in here anymore.
Those sections. In
The airplane crashed through. You can't use that
also,
walkway anymore.
If they use the map system that they used in those remakes, it does the whole like color coding the map.
Did you get everything?
Did you get everything in the room? If so, you just have no reason to go back.
And what's interesting, 7 didn't have that. I don't know about 8, but 7 didn't have that because we found out later. Yes, like depending on the difficulty or like if you died, they will like slip ammo in some places. Like
I feel like I like that map system a lot. And you haven't played the remakes, but they do this really cool thing where you can find an item in the map and it'll mark it on the map there. So if you don't have any space for it, you'll still show it's there.
Yeah.
But if you
It never really spawns. It stays.
It just stays there. So if you ever go back to that section and you clear everything that's in that room out, like you do everything you can in that room, it will change the color on the map from red to blue.
Yeah.
So you can. So when you're looking for something and you're like, crap, I need this key. You can look at your map and be like, well, all of these sections are blue, so I know it's not there. Let's go through the red. Because especially in 2, there's a lot of sections in which you could theoretically be kind of confused on what you actually need or where to go. But because of that, you can look at it and be like, the store's main office is still red. I bet you I can do something there.
Or I don't have the access code to get there yet. I'll leave this health item for when I'm back here, when I might actually need it later in the game. So it's like a balancing act.
Yeah.
But because of that, there is a set finite number of ammo in that game. You can technically exhaust all of the ammo in Resident Evil 2.
Ooh.
So it's a balancing act more so than this game, which is an action game, and even like 7 had its set of it would drop ammo in random places where you need it.
It would.
Yes.
As a
Because
balancing.
I imagine that is a hard thing to balance. A lot of playtesting to know the exact. This is the maximum number of ammo that we will allocate to this game and make it beatable.
Because especially if you have a player who's very jumpy, like when you run into the hunters in RE2 for the first time, you are going to most likely expand a lot more ammunition in that moment than you would most enemies.
Or later on when you know how to deal with them.
Exactly. Mm-hmm. And so, how much ammo should we put in this area so the player doesn't waste all their bullets trying to kill one hunter? Or trying to teach them how the hunters walk, where they're blind, so you can kind of bait them around. And trying to teach the player that kind of stuff. I imagine it can be a situation where it could be very, very different.
And I don't think you will do that for the remake of this. I feel like you'll go with a 7 situation or even a 4 situation where the question is, will you get ammo from downed enemies, or will you only be able to find them in the environment?
I feel like
is the tricky part.
I
don't even know what the answer with that was.
I feel like the big question boils down to: is it going to be a horror shooter, survival horror game, or is it going to be an action game? Because Resident Evil 4 to me is not really a survival horror game at all. It's an action game. That's why you can pick up ammo off of enemies. That's why that makes sense. But if it's going to be a more hardline horror game, that's going to be a weird mechanic to pick bullets up off of enemies. Because you think about everything else they've been doing recently, it's either the RE7 or 8 style where you find them throughout the environment, but they can seed it when they want to and this, that, and the other. Or it's the RE2, RE3 remake style of there's a set number of equipment out in the wild.
Which I don't know if you go that far with it. There's a balance that needs to be made.
I think we need to see combat. We need to see gameplay footage of how combat works.
Yeah.
To tell how you do that best. Because if you're dumping rounds, if you have the theory, if you enter the village, right, that chainsaw fight. If we see gameplay footage and he's just dumping rounds, right?
We'll know more
about RE7, RE8 style is probably going to work better because then you can offset a player who's maybe not that good of a shot, this, that, and the other.
But also, 3 was very much an action game too. And that had the finite ammunition.
Yeah, but also if you remember, 3 also had ammo.
Everywhere.
And also, Jill gets access to heavy firearms pretty much right from the get-go.
You can get a shotgun within 30 minutes.
Yeah.
Of that game.
Leon gets his shotgun pretty late into RE2. He gets his, because the Leon arsenal is what? The pistol, the shotgun, the Desert Eagle, and the, what's that 4th gun?
It's the assault, right? It's the assault rifle equivalent, right? Or does he not have that? It's been a while.
I forget. But
I played 2 last year, but
it doesn't get that because Claire gets the pistol, the submachine gun.
That's right.
The grenade launcher.
That's right.
So they're locked off to certain weapons depending on the character. Oh.
Yeah, Claire gets a grenade launcher, and the cool thing is they get them from different places. So Claire doesn't get access to the thing that Leon gets access to get the shotgun. So she gets the grenade.
Because the idea is they're navigating the same space at the same time.
You can, if in playthrough 1, you can see things that you can't get access to that Claire will get. It's RE2 Remake's very, very good.
It's a great game.
No, but I think you're right, Michael. There's a lot of potential there. But my weird thing is, don't lose the weirdness.
Yes.
So much about this is so weird. Like, don't lose. Okay, if we're going to have an open castle kind of design where you'll be unlocking sections and stuff like that, like you do in RE2 Remake, I don't want to lose the dragon room. I don't want to lose Salazar's weird little statue.
I don't want to lose the roller coaster.
I don't want to lose the weirdness for the sake of more of a horror experience, because that's not RE4.
But
RE4
also,
is weird.
If this is the canonical now Resident Evil 4 for their new universe, and they make reference to some weird stuff in Village, I was like, does that stuff retroactively make it into this? Is this is the new 4 the canonical 4, or is this 4 the canonical 4? We don't know.
I don't know.
Also, do you lean heavily into Village being linked somehow to this? You know, because you say those references, but do you want to lean heavily into it? You could theoretically start leaning heavily, because it would be a good time to start working 7 and 8 more deeply into like the rest of the story, right?
Yeah,
because
7 and 8
fairly
because
isolated.
it's in Europe too, you can start piecing together like what's going on with Lady Dimitrescu and stuff like that. I haven't played it yet. I will when that special fancy edition comes out. I'm gonna get that the day it comes out. But
no,
you
right.
can start since they're in. I believe they're in Europe, right? Is it like Spain or is it a different?
I don't think it's Spain. I could be wrong. It's been a while since I played it after it came out. It is somewhere in Europe, but I don't think it's Spain.
Okay, so you can.
It strikes me as very like southern France kind of, but that's just.
And honestly, might be closer to Transylvania.
Oh, that would make
all the vampires.
I could be wrong.
That would make sense.
But that would make sense, like an like an Eastern European. Would make sense.
But because of the setting, it would make more sense to have like ties to like some of the notes that you get might not just be like they ran off with the vaccine. Some of it might connect to the overall world as a whole.
It would be nice to start bringing in, because here's the thing, like you want to kind of start strengthening your ties to 7 and 8 and start weakening your ties to 5 and 6.
Yeah. Like 7 and 8 are really good games.
Yeah, and also like there's a
you're
chance
still working with Umbrella versus you're still working with Wesker. Like don't even mention him at all.
Then comes the real question: do you try to even touch 5 and 6 as remakes? Not 6. You wouldn't do 6, but 5.
Code Veronica do first, because there's a great game in Code Veronica somewhere. I just don't know how you would do like the villain situation.
Yeah,
because there.
I don't know. Like I said, I don't think you can touch 5 and 6.
Mm-hmm.
6, there's no reason to. It's not good enough to justify it. 5 is not a great game, but 5 is where things just get so freaking dumb. I don't know.
You could also do 0 again.
You could, or you can just not touch any of them and keep down. Really, the smart move would probably be to
next is 9, right?
What if
straight to 9?
What if they just, for the remake of Resident Evil 4, what if they just make it a much bigger game, and it's like it makes like it won't like have 5 and 6 like as part of it story wise.
That would blow my mind.
But it has a divergent story that goes beyond.
You could do kind of like one thing that I've been thinking about with how weird this game is structured. You could have done a straight up like Final Fantasy VII style thing here, and have one game take place in the village section of the game, and another one take place in the castle / what will be the final section here. You could straight up divide this into multiple games if you wanted to. But that's probably, if you want to start like story-wise doing stuff, that's probably the smartest move, is just straight up diverge this story into something that leads more into 7 and 8. Because you never really like, but then do you need to? Or is it better just to have 7 be the tone switch? And let it be the section where, okay, like Chris Redfield is now this now. We just don't pretend like Chris Redfield did anything. But then, like, they've been pretty good about not bringing other people into Resident Evil 7 and 8. Like, you've played 8. I haven't played 8. I played 7. But
there could be characters in 8 that I don't know about.
I don't think Jill Valentine's in there. I don't think Claire's in there. I know Leon's not in there. I would know.
No, I would.
That's probably the first thing you searched when it came out. Leon Kennedy.
I would have
Resident Evil.
remembered Leon. There could be a reference to Leon, but I don't remember.
God damn, Resident Evil 9 just being Leon would be great.
It's pop. I mean,
How old
I'm
would
not
he
gonna
be?
say
Like
anything. I'm
60
not gonna
years
say
old.
I can't wait to hear y'all.
Chris is not
after
that
you play
old.
8.
But whenever 9 takes place, because we know there's going to be a time jump for that 8 DLC too, especially.
Yeah, but Leon's not that old. Chris is not that old. Chris is what, like maybe late 30s? At the oldest?
He looks like
In 7?
In 7, no.
In 8, he looks like he's in his 40s.
Because he's like in his 20s in like the 90s.
But what
So he's
year
like in
does
his.
7
He's
take
got to be in
place?
his like 40s whenever.
You think Chris
Resident
is
Evil
in
7.
his 40s?
There's answers for this on the wiki, but I don't want to take time to look for that.
But
now.
Chris is older than Leon.
He's gonna be.
Because
I don't-
Leon's more closer in age to Claire. Chris is already like a veteran cop and everything by the time we meet him in 1.
Do the remakes take
Yeah.
place canonically when they originally came out?
Yeah. So.
Yeah, I think so. They
so
do
Resident
actually.
Evil Remake 1 takes place in like I think 96, 97.
Okay, because I was about to say that could be an excuse for them to catch up to 7 and 8 in terms of the timeline being kind of
Up it
closer.
a little bit. I want to say, don't hold me to this, is Resident Evil 3 in the remake, there was a lot of references to it taking place in the late 90s, early 2000s. Like I want to
That's
say
true, yeah.
Jill's phone that she's using is like an old, like that, like the cars, like there's some references to it. Don't hold me 100%.
There's straight up
it's straight
newspapers that
those
say 98. Yeah.
And also Claire has to stop at a gas station at the beginning of 2 to use a payphone.
Oh yeah. Oh, and then
That
again,
just dawned on me that you
is
started
there-
at the gas station.
is there anything in 7 that dates it blatantly? I'm trying to remember because there's a lot of VHS stuff in 7.
I think it's the year it comes out. I think it's
Because he
2017.
does have a smartphone.
Is there a smartphone in that game? It's been so long.
There's newspapers.
Oh, there's a laptop. Never mind.
Laptops and
There's
Yeah.
laptops, and also when
Yep.
Chris shows up, he's got like very, he's got fancy.
Yeah, it's all coming back to me now.
yeah.
Yep.
No, But also, how much do they want to lean into that? That's the question. Like the fan in me wants them to lean heavily into it, but then also they got Ethan's kind of their next. He seems to be their next golden boy. I don't know how that goes in 8. Don't
Right.
tell me because I'm excited about playing 8. But it seems like maybe it's going to be a situation where Ethan and them become the next generation of our protagonist, and like we just get like the other people show up here and there. Possibly. Who knows? It'd be interesting. We'll see.
Yeah, I can't wait to hear you guys' experience with the game with Resident Evil 8.
Yes, we need to just go ahead and bite the bullet and play that damn thing. Yeah, but I do. It is hard now because that golden edition coming out.
Yeah,
That's
I
such a damn
saw
good-
I saw the price, which made me go, yeah, okay, because I was thinking, $60 for the complete package is $50 for the game and all of the DLC bundled. I'm like, that's a no-brainer.
Oh yeah.
I'm like, yeah, that's gonna be worth
Plus-
waiting on.
Plus, with like all the character-specific mercenary modes,
You play as Lady D in that mercenaries mode.
but you can also play as the big werewolf guy with the hammer.
Heisenberg, I
Yeah.
that's what
Yeah.
his name was. That stuck
Yeah.
with me. And
He
I'm like,
must be pretty. His voice is so weird. I love him.
Yeah,
I
but
love
the
Tyson.
fact that you can play like specific characters as the mercenary, it's a good package.
Reverse is coming out that day. I don't know
Must
who's
be
excited
pretty
about that.
tough, huh?
So we'll see. It's
Speak-
gonna be fascinating.
Speaking of Resident Evil things that could have been cool but ended up not, we're not going to touch that Resident Evil show.
No, I ain't gonna watch that shit.
No, it's not good.
Yeah.
Couldn't finish one episode. Then I skipped to the end to see what happens.
Yeah.
I've only heard not good things.
No.
So.
Anyway.
Let's bring it home. State of the Save at gmail.com, where you can send all your wonderful emails at State of the Save on Twitter, Instagram, and TikTok. State of the Save on YouTube. I think I pipped everything. Did I pip everything?
That sounds about right.
Okay. You can follow us all there. We'll be back in 2 weeks for Resident Evil 4 Part 3, where we'll be announcing our next game. It's going to be a ball of time. Everybody, we'll see you in a little bit. Stay safe out there.